Chairman, I wanted to ask you, Mr. Johnson, do you want to stick with your statement that the federal government pays 100% of the high-risk pools?
Yes, and in fact, that statement is up on the Secretary Sebelius's website.
I have in my hand the Illinois plan, the Illinois Pre-Existing Condition Insurance Plan, and it says, how is IPXP being funded? In addition to the federal funds, the IPXP will be funded by premiums paid by enrollees, and here is the whole list of the money that is being paid by the enrollees. This is not a question. I want to say for the record that this is not 100% paid for by the federal government. And if I could just have a yes or no answer to this. Did the National Right to Life Committee support the changes to the Hyde Amendment that were originally included in this bill, forcible rape and regarding incest if a minor?
I can address that question, but not with a yes or no.
Well, it seems pretty simple. Did the organization support those?
We supported the bill as introduced. We also support the current policy, which is incorporated in the Hyde Amendment. I believe that these are, well, Congresswoman, if you want my position, then you'll have to allow me to answer in my own way. We support the policy that is incorporated in the Hyde Amendment. It's not perfect, but we do support it, and we supported the bill as introduced. It's not perfect either. You know, we could discuss the history of how the language was.
Is beneficial to the patient, but not essential to survival. However, my understanding of the National Right to Life consistent use of the term elective makes it seem as what we're talking about as frivolous or cosmetic. So let me ask you this. Is it elective if a woman has an abortion because she will go blind as a result of the pregnancy?
The term elective, as it's been used the last couple of years and in testimony today, is a kind of shorthand for abortions outside the scope of the Hyde exceptions, life of the mother, rape, and incest. It's not a moral judgment or an ethical judgment on these other circumstances. It's just a shorthand way.
So in other words, by that definition, elective, if a woman would go blind as a result of pregnancy, that would be outside of Hyde, and that would be elective.
That would be elective, as the term has been used in some of this discourse as a form of shorthand. It does not, the circumstance you've just described is not to prevent the death of the mother, as you've just stated.
Right, okay, so is it elective then? I want to just get this on the record. If a woman with an ectopic...
I have answered your question.
No, I'm asking another question. Excuse me. Is it elective if a woman with an ectopic pregnancy has the embryo surgically removed while leaving the fallopian tube intact?
What you've described, many would dispute as any kind of an abortion, but if it is to be considered an abortion, it would be considered an abortion to save the life of the mother, and certainly allowed by Hyde. Indeed, this was explicitly in the Hyde language back in the 70s, I believe, or at least in the conference report, but it's never been an issue.
Is it elective if a woman miscarries one of the twins she is pregnant with and terminates the pregnancy of the second fetus after doctors conclude there is no hope for survival?
For whose survival, Congresswoman?
For the no hope for survival of the fetus.
The Hyde Amendment does not permit federal funding of abortion of a child because the child has a poor prognosis or a handicap. the criteria is if the life of the mother would be endangered if the pregnancy were carried to term.
So no hope for survival does not constitute, that would be elective. No hope for survival.
No hope for survival of the child for some time after birth? Is that what you're saying?
That the child cannot perhaps survive the full 9 months or could not survive after birth, right.
The Hyde Amendment does not permit federal funding of abortion as a form of prenatal euthanasia.
Chair thanks the gentlelady and recognizes the gentleman